we're actually at a little mouse settlement. So we could say Marigold came from this settlement. Or you could be a passerby just traveling through and have that as your backstory. But they are currently at Cherry Grove, which is a beautiful, it's in an old abandoned orchard, and it is known for the cherries and berries there. They have a cozy little cottage. Everyone just kind of gets along. There's kind of a mouse that's in charge just because everyone looks up to him and he has seniority and a lot of good ideas. And then a grandmotherly like mouse runs a bed and breakfast, which everyone's been staying at. They just solved a major case for Cherry Grove. So right now everybody loves them.
Nice.
They recently picked up, which I think you said you guys were wanting to have them come with you, Gooseberry and Chicory. We're willing to travel with you.
Okay, and not Frond, just Gooseberry and Chicory. Frond is
Yeah, Frond wants to go back to berry picking. He thinks adventuring is too scary, and he's convinced he'll get eaten by a fox.
Probably will. So
he promised to be quite good and never get into trouble again.
Did Frond ever receive a punishment for like consorting with the rats at all, or is it just like he's been like, okay, but we're watching you, or something like that?
It's kind of like you've been through quite enough, so we'll count that as time served. But we are watching you, so you behave. So he's going back to his berry picking duties quite religiously and wants nothing to do with a rat ever again. Oh my goodness! I just realized, crazy week. I forgot to post leveling because you guys put in enough pips to level last week. So your mice would be level 2, and I am not finding it.
we did it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we already went through it. So we got extra hit dice, and we got 1 grit.
Just so y'all know, if you see me looking over here, it's because I have a second screen. If you see me looking here, I'm mapping. Procreate.
Oh, I never thought of using that for that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm trying to remember, because I was looking for it this week and I got distracted, what grit does, because you guys have 1 grit.
Grit offers a...
Oh, I know, it lets you take a condition, doesn't it?
Yeah, for free, and it doesn't affect you. Yeah.
So your grit would be full of that condition until conditions are met to make it go away, but you don't suffer the consequences of it. Okay. So, our markdown for you guys. You are level 2 mice. I think I got your HP updated too. Okay. So we are ready to set off today. Where are we starting? So today we are starting back in our lovely little cherry tree. And you guys have slept very, very well.
Yeah.
On feather pillows and soft blankets, best sleep you've ever had. The food is delicious. Out of gratitude, they are currently giving you free food and a free night because you did a lot. Ms. Blossom is incredibly, incredibly happy that you have helped restore some of her stolen pantry items and that she doesn't have to worry about losing any more high-valued pickled fish or honey wine or any of that. It's all safe now, and she can go back to just looking at cooking and not going, well, I have these ingredients to make my muffins tonight. So she's absolutely delighted. And Mr. Birch is happy because now his guard can go back to doing what they are supposed to do. and there is less trouble to be feared on the creek side because you beat the rats back so bad that chances are they will not have problems from them for quite a while. He thinks there may still be some down there, but for right now they want absolutely nothing to do with this area, which may even mean a few good trips next time the merchants come through.
Yeah. Also, I think we found a bunch of treasure and calculated it. I gave all of that back for extra XP to Cherry Grove.
They are absolutely delighted with. A good chunk of it is actually being put towards the Mouseling School. They will be hiring on an additional helper, and
I was kind of hoping they would invest in the defense industry. I think.
Yeah, guards will definitely get some, putting them through more training. Hoping to turn that abandoned underground area into a usable area, maybe by the guards themselves, so that A, nobody's going to be sneaking down there and using it again, and B, it is a large area to train skills to help in incidents in the future, so that unwitting travelers and adventurers do not have to be pressured to take up the sword for the mouse tree, and they can just enjoy their stay.
Oh, nice.
And also maybe extra storage for Miss Blossom's cherry preserve.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So they are super happy to send you on your way if you are ready to go. You are welcome to take any rations you need for your venture. Let's see. And then, is there anything else you're wanting to get or do while you're here before we set out from Cherry Blossom Grove?
I definitely want to say bye to everybody, but I don't want to. But is Marigold meeting us upon the way, or I don't want to hold up somebody getting to play. But I totally want to say bye to everybody. I mean, we have to say bye to the ambassador. Undignified not to say goodbye to him. And Hick.
Yes, I believe you have. Who is it? You have a couple little mice that liked seeing you.
Yeah, I would go find Kick.
You had Kick, and then you had I cannot. Oh, nope, that's not it either. You had Kick, and you had one little mouse outside that helped you when you were trying to get questions answered on the way in. But I'm going to have to find his name now. Marigold, did you want your mouse to be a mouse from Cherry Grove itself? Did you want to be passing by or meet them up on the trail?
No, I think Marigold is from Cherry Grove. Probably she saw them solve, well, I'm not familiar with the case they solved, but it sounds like it was pretty dramatic. So I'll say that Marigold saw that and got a taste for adventure and wants to go adventuring as well.
Okay, so yeah, they helped solve a major food theft mystery.
Okay.
So you will be joining them with, you would probably know Gooseberry and Chicory. Chicory was a guard at Cherry Grove, and he will be joining the crew. And then Gooseberry, who goes by Goose, is a young mouse who could have joined the guard, but he's young and wants to adventure and feels like this is a great way to put his skills to use. And on a side note, Goose does have, he's bringing with him, he has a pet beetle named Thistle. And Thistle comes with, I believe, 6 storage slots. So if you need a little extra storage on the way, Thistle can help out with that.
And Goose and Chicory are not players.
No, they're NPCs. They helped on the raid on the rat's den.
Okay.
And then Cherry Grove decided it would be advantageous to have them go along, both just to see what's out there, and then for maintaining and creating good relationships with the neighbors.
Okay.
for trade relations. So you would be kind of familiar potentially with them.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's the other name. Plum. He's the one that collects cherry pits.
Okay.
Wait, Plum's going with us?
No,
okay.
I was trying to figure out the other child mouse that you guys interacted with.
I don't remember Plum.
With
Poor
Kick and
Plum.
Plum.
I totally remember Kick. Look, Kick's my favorite, I'll be honest.
Kick loves
Poor
helping you
Plum.
guys out. He wants to be you someday, so he's excited.
Yeah, I
Plum
wanna
is
be
happy
Kick
with his
someday.
cherry picking life. He's good, thanks.
Yeah.
He's got cherry pits to pick, and someday he's going to be up in those trees like his old grandpappy, and he'll be
Well,
harvesting those cherries.
Once at this point, it feels like home. I just like wake up and go down to Miss Blossom's, the kitchen, you know, and I say, oh, hello, the marigold. My name is Pearl. What's your name? Oh, can you hear us? Oh, well, muted, I think. Yep, muted. I think. Well, anyways, that being said, also, hey, Jerry and Poppy, how did you sleep? I can't believe that we did that. We went to battle with rats.
Oh yeah, and it was exciting the whole time. I gotta admit, I didn't think I would feel this way about any type of creature bigger than me, but you know what? I'm starting to feel a little bit powerful. What do you guys feel? I mean, I feel like I don't want to say like we could probably take on creatures bigger than that, but I'm just saying like we could pull some weight bigger than our own. I mean, just that wasn't crazy.
Poppy's kind of thoughtfully standing there. I'm just wondering, Mr. Ocock's always made it out that we would be torn to shreds if we ran into anything nasty like that, and well, here we are, and we even won.
I hate to say it, Poppy, but I'm really coming to the conclusion, and I don't say this lightly, Mr. Alcox himself is quite nasty, especially after discovering that Creekside had a run-in with him and turned him down. I'm beginning to think there was something awry all along.
It is indeed strange. I do quite agree with you that maybe he's been lying to us. I do think that when we get to New House, we should have no dealings with him.
That seems that it just has to be, because we want to be friends with Cherry Blossom, for example. I would not want to lose that friendship. I hope that your father will see reason and be willing to trade with Cherry Blossom. These are such good mice.
Indeed, and they've survived without the protection of the benevolent Ocox, and with this she rolls her eyes. They seem to do quite well for themselves. Why, just look at Marigold. She seems quite a nice mouse, and so's the rest of them, is Blossom and all.
Can you hear us, Tiffany?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I waved.
Yeah, Marigold.
Go ahead.
We'll talk a lot about how great this is. Marigold is a bat cultist, but I don't think that comes up in the conversation about how wholesome her character is right now.
But you know what they say about bat cultists?
No.
I don't either. I don't know. I don't know.
I doubt our mice are from, just an aside, they are from a sheltered settlement. It's massive. They're trying to find a new place to live, but they are under the protection of the benevolent wise Mr. Ocox.
Okay.
Who has absolutely no problem eating them when they break his rules.
Yeah.
And they don't know anything about the outside world, so they probably don't know much about bats or you. Or they might be afraid of bats and are convinced that, well, they would eat mice because that's what Mr. Ocox says.
Marigold, back where I'm from, I am actually a cartographer. So I've been gathering some information around us, but it's incomplete now. I don't know if you've heard this. There's a traveler that we spoke to yesterday, and apparently there's mouse communities to the north across the creek, Brambley Hedge and Creekside. And, we're from Greyhouse, and we're hoping to find a safe passage for our people, because we're running out of food in Greyhouse. And we've heard that there's a new house somewhere far to the north, and that might have ample food and places for all of the mice of Greyhouse. So we thought that we might go to Creekside, especially since apparently they had been approached by the same owl for whom our mouse community had had a relationship for a very long time.
Mm.
I suppose maybe we should just cross Glitter Creek in the same place. It would be good to check it out anyways. Or do you all suppose that we ought to deal with some of the things here, the hawks, or talk to the rabbits, or check out the rabbit burrow? Or should we move on and find the path up to the traders to the north in Creekside?
I feel like it'd probably be more beneficial if we moved on to the traders up north and get to Glitter Creek. We could find out more about Olcox that way and find out, like, if they know anything. Because after all, like, they were able to turn him down, and he wasn't able to, hopefully, with guess, he was able to harm them too much. So maybe they know something about defending themselves. If, like, worse comes to worse, and we might have to fight Olcox, something which I don't think we can do at the moment. But if we have to, we need to at least learn how to do that. I guess, because the other option is like that the rabbit burrows, but I feel like that's not as big of an issue here, probably.
Doesn't seem like it has been, and now you have that big fancy sword that you found. And I feel much safer now that we have Chicory and Gooseberry and Marigold with us. Marigold, what sort of experience do you have traveling? What sort of things? It was very dangerous what happened at the creek. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. What sort of are you? Were you a guard, or a trader, or a merchant?
Well, I've been I'm really fascinated with bats. They're very clever creatures, you know, and while I was studying them, I discovered how to create darkness. So Marigold has the spell Darkness. I'm not quite sure what that does. But I guess that's how she would describe it.
So darkness?
Yes.
Jerry.
Oh, there it is.
Poppy, I wonder if we should show her those tablets.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was just messing with them, and honestly, I feel like I was really lucky getting them to work. But I mean, like, if she actually knows what she's reading and actually studied them, she might know how to use them better than I do. So, yeah.
So you would be able to, with the spell of darkness, you would roll a dice, d6, I think, multiply that by 2 inches, and you'd be able to create that diameter sphere of pure darkness for d6 turns.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that could be very handy for distracting predators and stuff.
Or if you don't want something to see you, or if you'd like him to be blind.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be lots of good uses for that. So, and that one's an easy spell to recharge too, because you just leave it in an unlit, totally 100% dark place for 3 days. Spell recharge.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, so that's what Marigold has, and then she also uses a sling to protect herself just while she's out and about. Wow. And then I'm not sure what the bat teeth do, but she also has a suspicious bag of bat teeth.
You'd say it, hey, do you want to see my bat teeth, or do you just...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm a bat cultist. I'm totally into it. You have to see every single bat tooth and hear the stories. There are 53 bat teeth. I don't think that's excessive. But okay, let's say there's 27 bat teeth, and you get to hear about every single one of them.
Pearl just like gawks, like, and, you know, and just has vacant, beady eyes, like in response to this incredibly gothic mouse. But she's like, Pearl's like, I have to confess, this is perhaps the most peculiar thing I've ever seen a mouse do, but I'm very fascinated that you seem to know how to use magic. And we found some things, as Jerry was saying. Jerry did pretty good with them, but maybe you use them. And we have a tablet of healing, tablet of invisibility, and I think a tablet of magic missile, or is it just the two?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All three.
Oh, wow. Marigold attributes all magic to bats. So,
Wow.
First, yeah, that's where the cult comes in. So Marigold is convinced that magic comes from bats, which are these magical beings. So Marigold is really excited to see these spell tablets because it tells her more about the magic of the bats.
Awesome. We have a spellcaster. We have a powerful fighter, a couple of them. And then there's me.
To be fair, we
There's
have
the one
your
that
map.
keeps us from getting lost.
That is the most important party member.
Because I technically have a map, although I'll be perfectly honest, well, it's like relatively good for where we are now. If we need to go back, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I think I kind of messed that up, so I think Jerry might not be able to find this way to get back to Greyhouse.
Okay, well...
Look, on land, it's all confusing everything. Once I find a river, I'm good.
Right. It's okay, Jerry. I appreciate that you try. We just want to try to keep everyone safe. And don't get too cocky with that new sword, Jerry. You worry me. It was very dangerous what happened with the rats. Did you see what happened with the one rat? He ate the pellet. By the way, Marigold, we also have some strange giant magic. Giant technology. We have a tube of goo, and when you apply it to something, two things are forever stuck together. And
the bats made it.
This is amazing. I've always been kind of creeped out by the idea of bats. I've never seen one before. Have you've seen? Of course.
Oh,
you've
they
seen
are
bats. You have
incredible
teeth.
creatures. They're like mice, but they have wings. They can
Wow.
fly.
Mice, but wings. Have you talked to them?
Alas, I cannot understand their language.
Oh dear. I wonder if we could find someone on our travels that could speak bat.
We'd have to find a place with lots of bats.
Oh, I mean, that's interesting.
Do bats eat mice?
Do they eat mice?
Marigold's pretty sure they don't, but you get the sense that she isn't entirely sure.
Wow. Well, maybe we can learn more about bats, because just as Jerry was talking about, we might be able to use their help, especially if they're masters of magic and they produce these stones. Maybe we could
I have
find...
a question regarding... Sorry to interrupt, but I have a question regarding bats and humans. So if bats are responsible for all the magic in the world, everything, what are humans are to bats? I mean, did bats, like, make humans? Did they, like, give them, like, those giants? Like, I'm just curious, like, what's the relation to each other,
Now,
then?
what if the bats made the giants? I could explain
You've
a
blown
lot.
Marigold's mind. She has to sit down in a corner.
Or maybe the bats keep the giants from taking over the world.
Wow.
Oh,
They're like super mice.
this is too deep for us.
This is too deep.
Oh, I just want to help our people get by safely, and And to that point, Jerry, please be careful, because I'm very uncomfortable with all of this, and it's very abnormal, and I would very much like to get back to my drawer someday, or find another good drawer. And I was very scared with the rats.
Ooh, or maybe find some feathers and make feather beds.
Oh, that would be amazing. A couple of feathers.
Imagine if we could make feather beds.
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 feathers. Man. Wow. Well, anyways, we also have a large disc or a tablet, and it killed one of the rats.
So it's like a red cube, but it's missing a bite.
Wow.
It's a big, shiny red cube that smells like the most amazing thing you've ever smelled in your life.
It's hard not to eat it, but we saw with our own eyes, if you eat this, you will die.
This is terrible.
But it seems good if we run into rats.
Yeah.
And the other thing to note is that the rats stole all this food from Cherry Grove, but apparently they found this among the things that were taken. So that means this was originally given to Cherry Grove, so what or who placed it there?
I think Mr. Birch mentioned that it might have been brought down by the wagon because they were tired of getting ridiculous charges from the rats, like being extorted and stuff. So they gave them a free bonus cube in hopes that... Because it never came to Cherry Grove, but that's the only way they could think it got there.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to go find Kick and tell him goodbye. Say to Kick that he was the best ambassador that mice from another land could ever hope for, and that I ask as a personal favor to other dignitaries that may come by in his position of utmost responsibility and grave responsibility, really, that he received them as warmly as he did us and helped them, and that I think some may come soon.
He's super sad you are leaving. And he gives a hug to Marigold because he knows her and remembers seeing her in the hall and in the dining area, and wishes her safe travels. But I know you're in good hands because these are like the bravest adventure mice. Like, they killed a rat king and they chased off monsters, and they gave me this cool mask.
Oh yeah, the mask.
It is pretty cool.
And I'm doing a report on you at school tomorrow.
I'm sorry to hear that. Marigold will bid him farewell and ask him to save any bat teeth he finds for her.
Oh, I will. I have a special box in my room, and if you come back, when you come back, any bat teeth that I find with Plum, because he might find them better than me, because he's out all day picking cherries, lucky mouse. But he might find some, and then we'll put them in your box.
Oh boy, thank you.
And be sure to listen to Miss Fernberry so that you can learn her letters really well, so that the report can be good, because you're going to be doing a lot of reports for dignitaries that come.
All right.
That's true. It wasn't just like bronze or bravery that did it. It also required smarts, so you gotta learn that too. Make sure to be smart. Be a good adventurer like us.
And I also go and I thank Miss Blossom, and really sheepishly ask for food, because for all these people, like a lot, because a lot of mice now.
She gives you special rations that are glazed in honey.
Whoa.
To take with you, and also gives you each a couple cherry glazed honey crumpets for your lunch today, because, well, you shouldn't have to eat only trail food, and this will make a nice lunch.
Wow.
So I would say, trying to think, would 2 be enough for space?
Well, we have
Or
Thistle,
should I stick with 1?
so we can carry really just about as much we could.
Okay.
I already have.
Thistle is the beetle.
Yeah, Thistle's the beetle. He's got 6 slots.
Okay.
I give her a hug. And I tell her that, I say, Miss Blossom, you have made me feel, even though I only met you several days ago, as if I had a home.
I love to hear that. Now, you do make sure to come back and visit now, child. And she gives Marigold an extra hug. Now, child, you be careful. I know these minds are strong, and you're strong too. And darling, I want you to be careful and, come back and visit me.
Yes, we'll be back very
Go
shortly.
find yourself a bat.
Marigold's just hopping around squeaking at the idea of bats.
I also want to go talk to Mr. Birch and thank him. And I ask him if, since we're headed to Creekside, is there anything that needs to be shipped to Creekside?
Well, I know our last shipment went through to them, but it's not too much trouble, and I know Miss Blossom won't ask for it, but given that our fish was stolen, it would be nice to get an extra shipment in, and we'd pay them up proper for it, but we could definitely use an extra shipment or two of pickled fish or salted fish. And some of them crawdads. Those are good. He also urges you to be careful because it did rain decently last night while you slept. And the creek level has risen.
Oh. Is there anything that you'd like to send from Cherry Blossom to Creekside?
Well, we could always check and see if there's some letter written. Sometimes mice have letters written, and, well, if you could take them sooner than the wagon, we'll put them in a watertight little shell for you.
Other than that, I thank him, and I promise him we'll do our best, and ask him to please help any other Greyhouse mice that might come. It may happen. I go and I say goodbye to Fur Cone and to Fur Cone and other guy, nervous one. Rond, thank you. And to the teacher and everybody. Oh, and to the 2 guards. I just kind of casually say, hey, we're leaving, goodbye. Do you guys want to do anything before we go?
No, Marigold's pretty much packed up.
Puppy is ready to go. Get this travel part over with. The stays are nice, but the travel part gets me on my edge of my toes.
I agree with you, Poppy.
Okay. So you've said goodbyes to everyone, and you catch Kick out in the front of the tree. He is down in the grass collecting his fairy pits. He runs up and gives you a hug, especially Marigold, and wishes you safety. Says he hopes to see you again because you guys were amazing. But I gotta get back to work. And he starts scurrying around again, getting more fairy blossoms. Okay. So you are walking through the grass. It is all a bit wet. The ground's a bit muddy, and there's water on the grass and on the leaves. You can hear the wind rustling through the trees. It's all sunny and clear now. You wouldn't have guessed that you'd had a good rain based on the weather.
Okay. Well, I have a compass, so I point it to, let's see, 50 degrees north by northeast. I have a compass. Oh gosh. If we're not too far away, I definitely want to buy some new quill and ink. I ruined mine.
Yeah, you can buy new ink. You did have the paint if you wanted to use that. But we can definitely say that you bought a new quill and ink from the stockpile that's usually used for... They always keep a stockpile for the school or for the mice in charge for documents.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay, so are you heading back towards the... You said you're heading northeast, heading back towards the trail from the other day?
Yeah, it seemed... I don't know. Well, first of all, what do you all think? My thought was that we already know that there's that log, and we could try to make sure that passage is safe. Like, that seems like ground we know. And if it's not safe, that's good to know, and yeah, I don't know. That was my thought.
Yeah, just double check on the log and just make sure, like, no other, like, rats or anything came back to it or scouring the area. So at least, like, cover our ground. Make absolutely sure that there's no, like, leftovers or anything like that.
So this is going to be an 8-hour trip, if I'm looking at the map correctly.
That's 0.5 hours, 30 minutes, so 3 hours and 30 minutes. But we should be able to take the long portion of the that angle there. I think make it 3.2 hours. What happened? What we did was we went for 3 hours and then we got like chased by a skunk. And then yeah, and then we had to hide from the skunk, and then like we got separated.
Sounds terribly dangerous.
I told you, Marigold, it's quite dangerous. But I think we have to do it. I mean, me and Jerry and Poppy at least have to do it. Our people are running out of food.
Marigold is resolute. She's coming with you.
Wow.
At least to the Glitter Creek settlement.
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk for 3 hours, find the trail easily enough. Chicory and Goose are a little on guard just in case anything decides to show up, but it's daytime and not so much as a shadow or out of place squeak anywhere. So you make it to the creek. It has indeed risen and is no longer able to be walked across by mice. You are able to still, if you want to, walk over to where the metal box was, where the rat settlement is.
We should. I think we ought to check it out.
Because the log that we're at right now, I'm just trying to remember if it just looks like it's something where like they made land from the river onto the other side of the creek, or whether or not it's just like it could be moved or be used as a way to cross, maybe.
So the log was kind of arched into the ground, and you can't tell if it like continues further into the ground or what.
Does the log go across the creek, or is it just near the creek?
It's well, the other day it was part in the creek and part out of the creek.
Okay.
Today it is mostly in the creek. You think you could
Oh.
maybe get to one corner of it.
Okay.
And there's definitely no place a rat could have a meeting in there today. It is wet.
Okay.
Y'all think?
So yeah, I'm thinking like if the rats like try to extort people just trying to cross the river, like trying to come down here, they must have some way to be able to cross the river, and maybe they didn't have a way to cross it when it was high up, maybe. But maybe they would have like some type of raft, and the only other location we know is like the metal box we encountered them in. So not in the place, because I think we cleared that place up, and be somewhere around maybe.
Yeah, we can
Maybe
search.
finding a spot to forge or find something, Poppy muttered.
Yeah.
Marigold's gonna sniff around and see if she can tell how much the creek has risen from the rain. Or like, is it running really fast? Like, how much more powerful is the flow? Actually, I don't know if Marigold would be familiar with the area, but at least wants to see, like, just get a general sense of how strong the flow is and how difficult it would be to cross.
So if you go to the creek, you've lived here a while. You've seen the creek this high before when you've come with large groups to welcome a wagon. You've seen it a little higher than this before, but it's definitely usually a lot lower. There'd be no way you could just walk across.
Okay.
And it is moving a bit faster because of the higher water level. Because you are familiar with the area, I'm also going to say you heard tell, and Chicory would know this too, that there was a spot where certain animals were known to cross when the water was higher. It might be pushing it for mice.
Okay.
But there was a spot where with stones it might be possible. Normally at this high, the merchant party would wait on the other side till the water receded.
Okay.
Well, if worst comes to worst, if it turns out we have to wait it out, then at least we'd like just take shelter in the metal box at least. At least like keep us out of like sight of everything. It's maybe not the most comfortable place to live in, but at least it's a place.
And we are only 3.5 hours journey back to Cherry Grove. So if it's just a bad time to, like, even, thinking about other places we could explore, like the Burrow, that would be flooded. This is. So, like, I don't know. It might be, or we can, alternately, we could explore Glitter Creek. Another thought, like, we could east or west.
I can lean more towards like exploring the creek towards the east and like follow the bend of it, watch like how far it goes essentially. Because if we do have to like get into trouble, we have to go back again. Like again, there's like the metal box, everything. So I feel like that's the safest option to like as far as exploring the creek goes. And is the creek is it flowing from west to east or is it flowing east to west?
It's west to east.
Okay.
Okay. West.
Chicory remarks that traveling westward would be ill-advised as it does get deeper. And no mice that he's known have found a crossing in that direction.
Which direction?
West.
In that case, I say it's a perfect opportunity for us to go east and find a new crossing for ourselves.
Marigold wants to try the spot with the stones that the larger animals crossed, or at least look at it to see if it looks like a good prospect for mice. And then if it looks too dangerous, she's fine with exploring to the east.
If we are going to attempt crossing, does any of us have like twine or like rope or something so that we can like tie ourselves to something so that way if like it turns out we drown or like go underwater, so we can pull each other out of the water and onto dry land?
I do.
Gooseberry does happen to have thread and a fish hook, which he can use for a grapple if
Nice.
needed.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to get the dropping rate size, the shape of the river. So it bends, right?
Yeah.
And does it bend like straight 90 degrees to the north, or does it kind of bend and go northeast, like a 45 degree, or?
So I'm gonna doodle real quick.
Yeah,
Doodling. We're using blue. And we're using extra large just because. So from what you know of the creek so far is it comes across like this. Comes across like this. And then it bends. And this is where you found the metal rat box, is right here. Where that X is. And then after that, you're not really sure where it goes. You know it continues to the east. This is where the other mouse warns you it's deeper and not advisable.
right.
To cross.
Okay. So it basically bends 90 degrees to the north, and then we're really not sure. There's the rat box.
It bends to the northwestish slightly. And then you haven't gone further than there. Chicory and Goose note that is beyond their normal jurisdiction, and they deemed it too high risk to venture out that way normally. So they're just afraid of being seen because the orchard trees grow thin, and then it just becomes empty field.
Where is the log?
The log is about here. This is about where the trail was. So the trail from Cherry Grove, your log, and then the X is where the rat hideout was in the metal box.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm down with following the river. What do you all think?
Yeah, let's follow the river.
I think we may end up having to follow the river, but before we do, I want to check out the spot where the larger animals are able to cross with the stones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so we don't end up wandering and exposing ourselves to more danger than necessary. If we're able to cross here, then we wouldn't have to wander as far out of the cover of the grove.
Okay, so you are wandering, and you haven't seen any logs or anything. You do happen to note that there does appear to be a spot where there are indeed some rocks that are more than large enough for a mouse to land on. They seem to be about 1 mouse to 2 mouse long, some of them. Some of them are smaller. It takes 14 mouse jumps to cross here. The water is not swimmable next to them, and a fox or skunk or something could easily hop across. But it may be doable to hop rock to rock and cross that way.
Does it look dangerous? Like if we fail, the current would take us, or Or we might-
Yeah, if you
yeah.
fail if you miss a jump, then you could go for a swim.
Okay.
Don't know if I can kind of show like that.
Okay.
So they're big. If you get a running jump, you could probably land it. Most of them are flat. There appear to be a couple that are kind of rounded-ish, but
Marigold kind of sniffs around and looks dubiously at the rocks and asks how everyone else feels about trying to cross here, or if they want to keep looking. If they keep going, there's the risk that they're going to get sighted by something, but if they cross here, there's the risk they fall in the water.
Makes me awfully nervous. I'm not too keen on crossing. What if we lose all of these cherry, these honey glazed treats that we've got?
Goose kind
That
of
is an important consideration.
What if we have them now? I mean, even if we found a stump or something, it could be slick, and well, this way at least we're crossing on full bellies and we don't ruin any cherry scones.
I will say that Jerry has been very lucky recently these past couple of days, but I don't feel like I'm that lucky. I'm not willing to. Oof, I mean, like a couple of hidden goes there, but this one with how many jumps we gotta make, yeah, I'm not. Because at least if we keep going the long way around, yeah, it's long way around, and we could be exposed to threats and everything. But at least like we'd be able to at least somewhat maybe deal with them, maybe because like I said, we got treats and we could defend ourselves. Not the best option, but we should be able to defend ourselves. Here, the thing is, I would like to know at least like where the river goes and see where we would end up if we were to fall in. Like, is there a safe place for us to, or is like just keep going and going? So I at least like to explore the river a little bit more and see like, worst comes to worst, if we have to cross it this way. What else is there, or is there a place we can go ahead and like get a catch on or something like that?
Marigold thinks that's a good point. She really hasn't gone much farther east than this, and this is kind of where her knowledge of the area tapers off.
Poppy fidgets a little bit. Well, Pearl, I don't remember the exact spot. I wish we'd taken you with us. Oh, but he would have frowned on that. Cranky old owl. I don't know the river course here. It hasn't really been mapped by Greyhouse, but I do know along the creek, along Tar Road, where the forest meets the road, is where Mr. Ocox likes to sit. So I do feel we could follow this creek, but I don't want to get too close to wherever that happens to be, so we could walk for a little ways. But if I see that tree, then we'll need to think of a new plan.
Right.
On the bright side, if we do see it, then maybe you could put that on your map so that we can know where that is.
She's looking, she's scribbling, she says, well, it looks to me like if we were to travel through the forest, it would take us at least 6 hours to be a beam Greyhouse in the forest. I don't know what's beyond that, but by that reckoning, Tar Road should be something like a full day's travel to the east. Bannock Hill, it looks like, well, how long does it take to get to Bannock Hill, Poppy?
I'm trying to remember. How many hours is the hex again? 3 hours?
A watch is 3 hours. You can only travel what? Hey, am I crazy? And so it'd be like 4 watches?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Oops, sorry.
Crossing a 1 mile hex takes 1 watch, and 1 watch is a full line, or... Oh, no, that would be day watch. So, it's... Well, I know that his house or not his house. It was where he liked to sit, but it was about a day and a half, almost 2 days from Greyhouse.
Bannock Hill?
And that was, no, well, if you went past Bannock Hill to where Tar Road meets the forest.
Oh.
That's about, that was north. And we traveled how far east?
Oh, wait.
Is it 2.5 days?
Is Bannock Hill on the near side, on the west side of Tar Road?
Yes. No, it's on the far side of Tar Road. You guys would get to Tar Road before you get to Bannock Hill.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So by the time you're that close, he can see you if he's on his tree.
Approximately 2 days to get to where Tar Road converges with the forest east of Greyhouse.
If you were going north from Greyhouse. Wait. Sorry. Are you trying to find out where Tar Road meets Greyhouse or where... I can't see the screen. It's white. Oh, there it is. So Greyhouse is actually closer to Tar Road. Tar Road is this really... Let's see if I can draw it. So you've got Greyhouse. And then Tar Road is really curvy. So it does this whole switchback thing, very exaggerated. It's the kind of road you'd get car sick on. And she remembers going northish 2 days to get to where the forest meets the road. But Tar Road does switch back, so it does... You guys are probably... You could get to Tar Road within a day if you traveled that way. But it's because it does switchbacks really bad.
Oh, okay. This is interesting, because there is forest directly north, within 3 hours of Greyhouse, because that's where we met Sir Piper. So, so that must be, like... reason this matters is because this will... I'm working the map to figure out how close we would get.
See your map one more time, because the rest of it looked pretty good.
Well, I redrew the road.
Let's see if I can get it to...
To have the forest, like, whoops. Oh, it's crapping out. I used to have the forest, like, go all the way here, and the reason is because we did 3 hours and we made it to the forest where there was Sir Piper. So I figured that the forest must extend, and I thought the road was further away. But if that road wiggles next to it and then continues north, then I figured the forest must jut out here and then go back or something.
The forest follows the creek.
Okay.
So you're on the opposite side as the forest. You can see it. You're in an orchard, which is nice and woody, and it's very difficult for oakhawks or hawks to see through.
I think that what it was is we must have met Sir Piper in like a wood.
Yeah, you met him at the base of a tree at the edge of the orchard.
My bad. Okay. So, the forest then is 2 days to the north. That's where.
So it is. If you were at the creek, you can literally see it.
Oh.
You can see it on the other side of the creek, but you're not in it.
Okay. So. So the creek where we are, is actually not adjacent to the forest. It's just
it's right next to it. It's kind of like they cleared the land on one side of the creek, and the other they just left the forest.
Oh, and so I think we're at the middle box, right?
Yeah, you're at the elbow in that creek.
So here we are. We're kind of like looking off to the north. And there's a forest on the front left side, the northwest side of the creek? Or is it not but it's to the right, the east side of the creek.
Looking across the creek, as far as you can see, in either direction,
Either direction.
on the other side of the creek is forest. It's a big forest for a mouse.
So I think I've got it closer. Kind of sketch it. Kind of like mouse road must, like, I'm just going to fast. And we're like this. Guess I should cheating. Like, I moved the forest away. I was confused by Sir Piper. I thought he was in the forest.
That is a lot closer.
Okay. And this whole area has been in the orchard.
Mm-hmm. And you don't know exactly where the forest is between where you are now and the roads, because that's not an area you guys are actually allowed to go.
Right. And
you are not allowed to go to that field ever.
Except Poppy's been there. Or yeah.
Only when she's on business with her dad to see him. But there is no permission to travel now, and he would not likely give it to her after her stunt on the hill.
Okay, yeah, so it sounds like we don't know if this bends back to the east yet, the creek. But if it did...
You can't see that bend yet, no.
Yeah, but if there is a bend to the east, we need to not follow it, because it's going to go to Mr. Alcock's. Right? That's to the... Nice.
I say for now, let's just follow the river and see if it gets to that bend. If it does get to that bend, we just gotta double back and try to see if we can find ways to probably make crossing a little bit easier, maybe. Or an alternative suggestion is we could go ahead and actually try searching through the west side of the river and see where that goes, because from what we've been told, it's like, yeah, it's the more dangerous part, but they haven't really explored that further part down. And if east leads to Mr. Olcox's domain, or like within, like, he's able to see us, then west is see what west leads, if there's any other further dangers beyond there.
Yeah. And then it'll be probably, that's several hours. We might have to either return or camp out in the metal box.
Which makes Poppy crinkle her nose because it stinks.
No, Poppy, it smells.
Smelly creatures. What do you think? What do you think, Marigold?
I think we should keep looking east. Like Chicory said, going west hasn't worked well for mice in the past. So if we can't cross here, we should keep going east, and then if it gets too late, we can either hide or return to Cherry Grove. Hide in the box or return to Cherry Grove.
Okay, so you're going east, northeast, following the creek till it bends east?
Yeah.
Yeah, following the creek.
Yeah, following the creek.
Okay. So you follow the creek a bit northwestish. I'm going to draw this again. Back to, yeah. So you had your spot where you were, and it bends up, and this is where you had toaster box with the rats or whatever that was, and the log. And it goes up a bit, and then you see where it curves and continues going on that way.
Okay, let's see here. About how far is that next bend before it turns east?
Let's see. You traveled about the distance of a hex from here back to the house. So that's about the
3
distance of a
hours.
hex.
1 mile or 3 hours.
Yeah. And then it's about a half a hex to go over to this port right here.
Oh. Okay, sorry, actually. So from the metal box, it doesn't bend, or from the metal box
kind
to
of.
Oh, go ahead.
So from the metal box, it kind of goes. It's mostly north with a slight tinge to the west.
Okay.
It's mostly north with a bit to the west, and then it curves around, and now it's going back eastish.
Okay. And to get to that bend from the metal box, 3 hours or one hex?
If you're following the creek, it is about half a hex to
Half
that
a hex.
second bend.
So 1.5 hours. Okay. And I think
Yes, you have those lovely little cherry biscuits, cherry honey biscuits.
How long has it been since we left Cherry Grove? So it's been at least 3.5 hours for travel, and then we had to stop and consult the map and then follow the creek.
I want to say, what, 5 hours-ish? 4 to 5 hours?
4 and a half, I think.
Yeah.
it's been 5 hours. And then
I'd say probably been about 5 hours between traveling and talking, looking at the map.
Okay.
And assessing stepping stones.
wondering if you have to land travel. It says in the wild you can spend to watch foraging. Requires 2 watches per mile traveled if it's difficult. No, I think I'm wrong. I think you just have to eat 1 ration per day. Right?
I think it's
Doing overland. Yeah. Where it says
I think it's 1 ration a day.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Rations. Mark usage after a meal. Still not clear. Well, anyways. Okay. Making sure that we're not marking them off as we go or something. Because I know they have 3 charges each. Okay. So if it's 1.5 hours from the metal box to the bend, then and both sides of the creek are still surrounded with forest on either side, is that right? Big giant trees?
Just the left side. The orchard that you are currently in is actually fading away, and you are no longer seeing tall, towering branches overhead, but rather tall grasses.
Oh, wow. Okay. So on the east side of the metal box, no forest, just the big fruit trees of the abandoned orchard. Is that right? Not
When
like a
you were
dense-
down by the metal box, there were still a few orchard trees. When you get up to the second bend, those orchard trees have faded out.
And the west side is like dense forest, like deciduous
The opposite
trees that
side of the creek, everything on the other side of the creek, as far as you can see, is just thick forest.
No forest.
The tallest trees you've ever seen in your little mouse life.
Okay. Well, here we are. It's bending to the east. That is quite dangerous. Perhaps should or I don't know. Maybe should we risk it?
Well, if we can't cross, we'll either have to risk it or wait for the water to recede.
Right. We don't even know if it will. It might rain again or something.
Because my issue with risking it is the fact that if one of us trips and falls in, the river's going to wash us down towards that bend, which means we're going to go down that way either way. So I feel like it's too much of a risk in that case. Because at first I was more afraid of drowning or getting washed up somewhere. But if it's gonna like lead us to somewhere where we already don't want to be in, I mean, like that's just a reason not to. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good point.
Okay. Yeah, and with it high, we're likely to do just that. So, okay. Well, what if we, it sounds like this is a bigger operation than we thought, and we should, what was the danger to the west? We know that there's not a crossing, but other than the hawk, I mean, and the hawk
I
is
think the west, it was just the lack of crossing.
Okay. Do you all want to risk the wrath of the hawk to explore to the west of Glitter Creek? And there's
Well,
the
we don't want to
fox.
keep going east because we don't want to run to the owl. Is that right?
Yeah, he's like...
East is the owl, or there are hawks during the daytime. Chicory does note that if you go to the west, the creek does get significantly deeper and wider. And they've never tried to cross there.
In a way, that would tell us what we want. We would learn what we don't want to know, which is that there's just simply no travel path through there. Although, I don't know. That doesn't seem... I mean, the merchants don't come through there, right? So we might as well just wait. So maybe we ought to just head back and maybe go to the... if we feel like we get back in time, we could talk to the rabbits. Or we could... yeah, they're 30 minutes away. We could discuss things with the rabbits.
Goof does want to know, though. Who was it? Jerry is... Like, Jerry, you said you were a fisher mouse, weren't you?
Oh yeah, indeed I am.
Do you always fish from the shore? Or do you have a way to go out on the water?
Well, I just realized I do used to have a net. I think that's lost now because I think it was used to like as like a makeshift like trap or something to hold up something. I think, but it was like a little thing. So I always used to like go by the shore, and if I had to go a little bit further in or try to get risk, I get like get my feet wet essentially, and I try to use my tail like to get something. Nibble something, but I never would like further like deep into the river, not without at least like something firm to hold on to, or like a something like overhead, like a branch or something. But never really tried fully crossing a river. If it was just looked like it was gonna suck me in, because that's where like the bigger fish lie in. As much as I want to catch the bigger fish, they're bigger, they're hard to catch, and some of them might be big enough to eat me.
Ah, true point.
Yeah. All right. My vote is that we head back. And that's
Yeah,
okay.
let's wait it out. And what are the odds it's gonna rain 2 days in a row, anyways?
Rains for
You
2
say that now. Okay, can we make it back to Cherry Grove before sunset, or no? We'll be traveling at night.
If you turn around now, you probably can. It would be, what, 4 to 5 hours?
Be back in time for dinner.
Oh, bummer.
All right, let's go ahead and wait it out. If it turns out it rains the next day, at least we can talk to the rabbits.
It's a possibility.
Lance.
I wonder if they have a way across the creek, but they're so much larger. Perhaps they just used stones.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's true. Actually, we could. Okay.
Wasn't it true?
Maybe we could ask them to bring us across?
That would be great. I got the impression, and I would ask Goose and Chicory this, that it seemed like the people in Cherry Grove can't talk very well to the rabbits. Like, either they're semi-sapient, like only semi-smart, or else they're not able to talk, or that I don't know if that's true.
They the rabbits are sapient. They have an agreement worked out with the mice. They just have communication difficulties to a degree. They've worked out enough to where they help pull wagons, and in exchange, they get a nice haul of food that they can stash in their little rabbit burrows.
And this is like a language difference, I guess?
Man,
A little bit.
we need to get you a tablet of speak languages. Yo. That would be amazing. Unless we can.
There is a tablet, yeah. That if we can find it, yeah, that definitely possibly exists.
I'm sure the bats have one.
Probably do.
Marigold.
Wait, if they had one, could they talk to us? Goose is all excited about this now.
Marigold, do you know of a place where there are bats?
That's a great question. Does Marigold know of a place where there are
teeth.
bats? I have bat teeth. Yeah, where did I get those?
You probably found them. You might not, but you guys did talk to Maple. There's a possibility she may know, she may not, because she's an indoorsy mouse.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are heading back, and you've made good time. It's been pretty nice weather all day. Let's see, where did that go? You are enjoying the afternoon, and all of a sudden, which one will make it?
But not anymore.
Right. Marigold, you have a shadow pass over you. It's like the light went out for a second and then it's back.
Marigold's gonna squeak and dive for the nearest cover.
Oh man. Yeah, as soon as I see her do that, I do the same thing.
It's late evening now, so there's still sunlight?
It's late afternoon.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find a good song for this. I don't know if I can. Nope, not that one.
Oh god.
That one's better.
That's terrible. I don't like this song.
So she's dove for the grass. Poppy freaks out now. She's sure that Fox is back, and she's now in the grass. Gooseberry and Chicory are backing towards the grass, weapons drawn out of training. What do Pearl and Jerry do?
I try to hide. I follow Marigold and I like dive for cover and like shelter under a nearby leaf. I say, everyone hide.
Goose and Chicory kind of look at Marigold. What did you see? Did you hear something?
Marigold tells them about the shadow that she saw. Oh, it was terrible. There was a shadow that swooped over me. I'm sure it was a hawk, or maybe an owl, or both.
Too early in the day, Chicory says. Has to be a hawk. Quick, let's head to the base of a tree. They'll have a harder time diving for us there.
Run! I run fast as my
The
little
mice tearing
mouse
off.
feet can carry.
So you run, you make it under the tree. He hasn't dived down, but you're still not back to Cherry Grove. Chicory wants to know, he's like, we have a couple options. You can wait it out here, but there is always the off chance that he may decide to land in the tree. Or we could try tree hopping and hope we can get to Cherry Grove in time.
How far out are we from Cherry Grove at this point?
I'm going to say you're probably 2 or 3 trees over.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
So it's like if you're successful at tree hopping, you can maybe get there.
I think we might have to tree hop because
I'm down with that. Yeah, I'm down with trying to do
Yeah,
that.
Marigold's nervous, but she doesn't want to stay. The idea of the hawk landing in the tree above her makes her really nervous. She wants to get back
Yeah.
to Cherry Grove.
Okay. So you're wanting to, what's the vote, tree hop or stay where you're at?
Tree hop.
Okay. Chicory says he'll go first because he's got armor, and so I can kind of wave you on. They're attracted if they see a lot of motion all at once. So if we all run for it, it will. If it's anywhere near, it's going to dive. But if we're lucky, we might be able to. We could do it a couple mice at a time, or try the whole group. We get close enough to Cherry Blossom, they may send guards out to aid, but it depends if they've all sealed into the tree, because if there's a hawk this close, they probably pulled all workers in.
I have an idea. We have powerful bat cultist with us that has the magic of bats.
Marigold kind of straightens up a little bit.
We can, if there was a distraction, maybe Marigold could cast darkness onto its eyes and use bat magic.
Can I see the hawk?
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you can cast darkness on an object.
I think it's an area.
Where did that page go? I turned to it last time automatically, and this time I can't.
Because I don't think it doesn't indicate that the sphere can move. I just think like it's like a general area of darkness, not that or darkness itself can move or not, but it doesn't specify if it can or cannot do that.
Okay. Well.
But it might be because if we're tree hopping, how far is the distance between the trees for us to? Because it might be able to cover like the distance between us jumping, so that way if the hawk's looking at us, we could jump in and be at least a little bit safer, at least when trying to attempt the tree hop.
Yeah, maybe we could, yes. We could use it to create a smaller hop. And then we won't have to...
So you wouldn't be able to see inside of the circle, I don't believe.
Oh, okay, alright.
So if you're inside the circle, you won't be able to see if he's above you or not when you jump out.
It's true. And he won't be able to see if we're jumping. He won't be able to see us when we enter it.
No. So it could help, but it could also hurt.
Yeah.
So I think it probably would be a good idea if the hawk was getting close or like was getting, then yeah, it might be good for a last resort maybe.
Okay. I see.
Like if he's diving on us, that may make him think twice, and we can all jump out of to the edges of the circle or something.
The other tablets you have are healing, magic missile, and what? Invisibility. Invisibility.
Invisibility.
But you can only do one mouse.
Okay, so we should invisible the most, like, I don't know, the most at-risk mouse. So that's probably Elijah, right? Doesn't he have something large and... Oh, the beetle. Yeah.
The beetle can fly and he's small enough. I doubt the hawk would care about him.
Oh.
If he flies separate.
Well, yeah, whoever has the lowest dex, maybe. I have 10.
Okay, yeah. I have a high dex as well.
Probably the people in armor. Probably like...
Yeah, the shiny light would probably get the hawk's attention.
Goose and Chicory are willing to fight, and they'd rather it go towards someone else. Chicory can take dirt and like rub it on his armor, so it helps with the shine.
All right. Well, let's just cast it on. Why don't you do it, Marigold, just to be safe, and then let's go.
Okay. So who am I putting this on?
You.
Me. Okay. I mean,
Ooh,
I have
and
a high deck.
You could also act as a watch person with Chicory if you wanted to, because you'd be invisible.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then. Okay, I got a 5.
That's as good as you can get without getting a 6.
Okay, nice.
You don't want a 6, trust me. So 5, that gives you invisibility for... Where did my hedge go?
For
invisibility
for 5 rounds.
Your 5 turns. Any movement reduces it by 1. So if you run from one tree to another, it drops it down to 4 turns of invisibility. But we're just a couple trees away, so...
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to move. Okay, so I'll move out on the first guard, I guess, and then keep a sharp out for that hawk.
Okay. You notice you couldn't see him from under the tree, but when you are out in the open, you notice he's kind of doing figure 8s in the air above the trees. He's pretty sure he saw something. He's trying to figure out where it went. There are times where he's circling above where you're at, and then there's times where he goes to the other side of the tree.
Okay. Well, I guess I can't really signal while I'm invisible. But maybe I can, like, squeak a message back to let them know when he's behind the tree to try and move then.
Nice.
You could try to signal with like leaves and stuff, and
Yeah.
I could find a nice stick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
so the next question is, who's next?
I'll go. What do I do? Do I roll or do I... Yeah, what do I do? Grant.
Okay, so she's signaling with leaves.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Did we decide if we were all going as a group or one at a time, or how are we doing this?
If the hawk is out of sight, then we should probably move everyone as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it'd be probably better if like we did it one at a time, or yeah, because we did it all as a group. That's like putting all our eggs in one basket. Yes, yeah.
Oh, well, okay. But I vote we all go, on the basis that, like, you know, if it's not seeing us, that's the time to go. You know, because once we trickle out some mice, this thing's gonna see what's going on.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a good point. Oh boy.
Okay. So, so you can run the distance between the three shadows, and I'm guessing once you run by, my brain keeps blanking. Once you run by Marigold, she's probably going to join in and continue running, or are you going to stay and keep watch till the group is across?
I'll wait till everyone's across, and then I'll go out again, like, farther from the new tree and signal them when the hawk is behind cover again.
Okay. And I'm just going to stay for a purpose, because there's Chicory and Goose and Marigold are all from Cherry Grove, so they're just going to automatically know what your signals are, because it would make sense that mice from this area would know hawk signaling for if you're caught outside, since you guys are familiar with this predator. Okay, so everyone makes it under that tree. From here, you are pretty sure you can see Cherry Grove, the tall cherry tree that everyone lives in, but it is... You have to hop to one other tree before you get there.
Okay. Well, the invisibility won't last much longer, so Marigold's going to run out and try to locate the hawk.
Wow.
You're running to the other side of the tree, or are you trying to see where the hawk is?
I want to locate the hawk so we can cross to the last tree before Cherry Grove while it's out of sight again.
So you see, he's still doing figure eights. The problem is he is now making loud, piercing calls.
Ugh.
And you hear this call being answered by something a little ways away.
Something in the air.
It sounds like it's up in the air. It hasn't reached there yet, but it sounds identical to the hawk.
Oh boy.
I thought there was one hawk. There's more than one.
All right. Well then, if he's still doing figure eights, I'll signal him to bolt when it's on its farthest loop.
Okay.
So
you wait.
And I'll signal to them that there's two hawks.
He's still doing figure eights. You're pretty sure that you caught out of the corner of your eye something going behind another tree. Kind of flanking on your... If the one hawk is behind you, this guy is flanking you guys on your left. But he's still behind a couple trees.
Okay.
They're trying to narrow in on what they saw.
From what tree?
So the one hawk, you guys are in a tree. You just came from a tree over here. He's standing watching. He's doing his little eights over here. He called out, and now you have someone on your left. So you have someone behind you and someone on your left. You are trying to get over here. So you're trying to go forward still, but you can't quite see where the one on the left is, and you know the one behind you can't see you right now. Because he's gone back for his figure eight loop again behind the tree.
Okay, so I put a bunch of stuff on here to scribble around, try to make sure I understand. There's a lot going on, and it's all very important. So,
okay.
We've got two trees that we're in between. Is that right? And what?
She's in between the trees. You guys are under the second tree. You did a successful leapfrog. Hawk number one is doing his eights over here. But he has called someone who is now on this side. You can't tell where. And you've got one more tree. And then you have Cherry Grove.
Oh.
So you guys are here right now.
Okay, so there's another bird signal over here.
He called in backup.
Pearl?
To help try to find you guys.
Pearl is going to try to act as a distraction.
What?
And is going to rush toward the circling thing out into the...
Yeah. So you run into the open towards the hawk that was behind you, or the one that's potentially to the left?
Once we start doing the leapfrog toward the trees, seeing that we've got our invisible friend here, and we've got another tree, and then you've got the safety of Cherry Blossom, which must be safe because they deal, they live day to day. First of all, I'll ask some obvious questions. There are no holes in these trees.
It's possible that Chicory may know of a guard nook because he's served guard duty, and there is a high probability that the guards have little nooks to jump into.
Okay. Are we separated from Chicory?
He's kind of on the outer, so you guys are near the trunk. He's on the outer edge of the shadow, not quite visible from the sky, but close. And then you have Marigold, who's invisible out in the open.
Okay.
So you could walk over to where he is, or you could signal for him to come back and talk to you.
Yeah, I just tell him, I say, do any of these trees have any holes in them? Places, you do anything in any of these other trees? We're not going to be able to all make it back.
We'd have to get one more tree over. But all the trees that are neighboring Cherry Grove have a little space underneath them and a nice piece of bark that can be pulled down over it.
Well, in that case, I would tell them just run, and then I would go out into the open.
Okay, so we're gonna bolt for it.
So you're gonna bolt for the next tree to Cherry Grove. So you guys are going.
The hopes that it has some kind of place to hide. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are running, and mid-run, you hear a call from the left side. The hawk that was over there sees you and is now in a dive.
Can I know I still have invisibility on me. Can I cast the magic missile on the hawk?
We could.
Okay, I want to try that.
So it deals D6 sum plus number of dice rolled damage to a creature within sight. So the sum of your dice plus the number of dice rolled.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the dice rolled is 1 through 3, right?
Yep.
Okay, it's a big hawk, and
yeah.
I'm really scared. I'm gonna just use as many as possible. So that's 3. I don't know if you guys used it before.
Yeah. So,
it has 0 uses.
So yeah, no,
Okay.
you can use all 3.
Okay.
Oh.
How do you? Wow!
broken?
You didn't get a 6 with that. Ouch!
Wow.
That is like the
Wow.
best possible roll you could do. Okay, so let's take a look. So the hawk was diving towards you, and you hit him with 15, 18 damage. This doesn't kill him, but it definitely hurts. You have this little glowing missile that shoots up into the air and hits. Let's roll and see if he's gonna keep. There's a big poof of feathers he pulls up from his dive, and he decides this lunch is incredibly not worth it. You have angry, indignant hawk giving really nasty calls as he flies away, looking slightly worse for wear, and there are hawk feathers everywhere.
I convert to the bat religion. I believe.
The other hawk saw what happened, and he's gone and sat in a tree a little further away from you guys. He doesn't want to get hit with whatever that was. So he's kind of keeping an eye on you, but more of a you stay over there, and I'm just gonna sit here and look for something else to eat. So you successfully deterred the hawks for now.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
Chicory kind of wants to try to get everyone back to the tree. He's like, we're so close. I don't want to deal with anything else right now. My heart is just done. And Goose is over picking up hawk feathers. Because, well, these are really cool, and I'm keeping one, and I bet some of these would make a really, really nice feather pillow.
You're not. I think you're probably right, and you all were incredibly brave, but I think you should give some to Marigold.
Oh yeah, she definitely gets a hawk feather.
She definitely earned that by like how many feathers do you want, Marigold? I think you.
Marigold will just take a couple feathers. There's probably a lot of feathers, so I imagine there's enough for everyone to have a couple.
Oh yeah, there's some nice flight and tail feathers mixed in, which would be definitely a nice size. I think there's actually a picture somewhere in here.
That'd be bigger than an actual mouse, right?
Yeah, if you get a
like
flight or a
6
tail
inches?
feather, it would definitely be. I think there's a picture in here. Yeah. Let's see if I can.
Oh.
Nice.
So you'd have a nice little feather. Poppy picks one up. She wants one. But yeah, these are definitely nice. There's a possibility it could be turned into something. I could see what's her name? Pearl wanting to use a couple of the smaller ones for quills. Free quills.
Yeah, we'll definitely collect the hawk feathers then.
But yeah, Poppy is just like, holy cow. This bat cult is so cool.
Yeah. Side quest unlocked. Find the bats.
We're going to find the bats. Okay, so we pick up as many feathers as we want, and then I'm guessing you all are wanting to head straight back.
Yes.
Yep.
So can we get all the way back to Cherry Grove now?
Yes, you scoot. You're not at like a dead run, but you're scooting, and Chicory's kind of looking over his shoulder at that other hawk, making sure it doesn't get any bad ideas. And you make it back to Cherry Grove with a bunch of hawk feathers. And the guards at the doors see you coming, and they knew there was a hawk out, and they open the doors very quickly so that you could get inside. And then they promptly shut them and bolt it behind you so that nothing can get in. Where is my... Oh, here it is. So you are back inside, much to the surprise of some of the Cherry Grove mice.
There's quite a story to tell.
Quite a story, and you guys have like all these hawk feathers. Everyone's kind of staring at you like, what? There's a hawk out. Where did you get? How?
So remember we said we were going on a journey? Well, the journey found us. We might need to like stay for like a day or so.
Oh my. And you run into Kick in the hallway, and he's just like, oh my goodness, you just reached a new level of amazing. Did you kill a hawk?
No. Don't ever do what we just tried to do.
Yeah. Yeah. We should have listened to Mr. Birch. It was a perilous journey, and we really hardly uncovered anything. But at least everyone's safe.
Yeah. We'll have to try again tomorrow, or maybe day after tomorrow, so we can recover from nearly being bird food.
Yes. I don't mean to overstay our welcome and the hospitality of these fine mice, but I think we need to wait for a dry spell.
Yes, the creek is far too high. There's really no way to cross it.
Gooseberry kind of gives Marigold like this playful little push in the shoulder. He goes, man, I knew like you like were kind of quiet and stuck to your bat stuff, but you are awesome out there.
Marigold's just preening.
Seriously, we owe our lives to you actually today, because beforehand we were all just lucky. Here, I think one or maybe more of us could have died if it wasn't for you. That was genuinely amazing.
Marigold's just
side
like
note.
not quite sure how to respond, but like really happy. She's also kind of like coming down from the adrenaline shock because she was pretty sure the hawk was going to get at least one of them.
Yeah.
Or just grab a handful.
Yeah, or just like,
Nice
yeah.
buffet.
Yeah.
On a side note, your magic missile tablet needs to be recharged, but you are in an ideal location to do so. To recharge it, you drop it from a height of at least 30 feet and touch the spell within 1 turn.
Okay.
You happen to be in a tree that has lots of windows, or you could drop it from up higher, and then zigzag your way down the stairs and grab it. But
Okay, yeah. I definitely recharge it, and I think the invisibility also needs to be recharged. At least one.
you used 1 use, so you don't have to. Did we use up a use last time? Did we get 5?
I think if I remember correctly, I used up 2 usages of it, and I think we double checked. Not sure if when Marigold. Okay, I think actually. So I think all 3 usages are used up, so it has to be recharged. I think.
So for that one, it's really hard. You have to hold it in your paws for 24 hours. So for like a whole day, go a whole day without opening your eyes while holding the spell.
That is pretty sad. But we are in Cherry Grove and we do have to wait, so it's also a good spot to recharge it.
You have safety to do that. You also have the ability to recharge the other tablet.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it have to be specifically with the mouse that's able to cast it, or can technically any mouse be able to do it and recharge it and be able to use it? So any mouse who's willing or like feeling tired or anything like that wants to like for experiments like have their eyes closed for full 24 hours, would that be possible? Or
any mouse could do it.
All right.
So if you just want to chill in a feather bed with a tablet, any mouse could do it, kind of thing. And you guys also got 40 pips worth of hawk feathers.
Nice.
Nice.